Hey everyone, this is Mike from Mike's Do It Yourself. Today I want to show you how to replace your thermostat. Now this one's one of the older mercury type thermostats, so you got to be careful with it. Make sure you don't break the little vial of mercury. But the first step you want to do is to turn off your breaker that goes to your AC unit, and that will turn off your thermostat also. Now to get this off, you want to go ahead and lift up the bottom, and yours might vary. You might have to lift it off a different way, but usually it's just a cover plate on top. And as you can see, there's the mercury there, and then there's a screw on top and a screw on the bottom, and it looks like it's mounted right into a junction box, but yours might vary, so just go ahead and take your screws out, and then you can also verify this with the voltmeter or multimeter, just to verify with some of the connections that your AC power is off. So we'll go ahead and take this out. Now this one has a lot of paint around it, so you might have to pry it off to get the plate off. And you want to look at your wiring. Just make a note of it. You got white, yellow, which is the blue wire, green, and red. So if you need to write that down or take a picture of it, that way you'll know how the new thermostat wiring goes together or goes on. Okay, and then once you're sure that your power is turned off, you can go ahead and disconnect your wiring. You can just put your plate aside when you're done with it. And then depending on what your new wall plate looks like, you'll usually slide your wiring through. And you go ahead and mark your holes, like say here and here, and then you can use your existing holes if you have some, and you just tighten those up. If you have a level, you can put it on top of your mounting plate and adjust it to where it's level, and then go ahead and tighten your screws from there. Now for this application, I'm actually drilling into wood, or the screws are going into wood, so I'm sure that this mounting plate is not going to move once it's tight. If you have drywall that you're going into and you have to make new holes, you'll want to use some wall anchors behind there, just to give yourself a firm grip on the wall. So the next step is going to be for your wiring, and depending on your setup for your air conditioner, you may use all the wires or you may not, and usually it's just a matter of matching it up, so we'll go through that too. Okay, usually you'll be able to slide your wiring panel just in between your wires. Go ahead and just push down on it. Yours may look different. You may have screws that go into yours. Now you may need to straighten your wires or strip your wires, and in this case you just want them straight. So we can go ahead and straighten these wires out. And you can, like I said, you can use a wire cutter. Just cut the ends off, or maybe get some pliers and flatten these out. And the first step, you want the R or the RC, which is your main power. And so if you only have one red wire, you want that to go to the R, and that would be down here. And then you set your jumper to one wire. Now if it's two, if you have two red wires, you're going to have an R and an RC, and you put that to 2 wires down at the bottom. But for this instance, we only have 1 red wire, so we'll straighten that out and then put it to the R. And it's just a matter of pushing it in, and that'll hold it in place. Okay, we'll go ahead and make the connections, and then I'll show you what they're all for. Now you'll see, to strip them, they want at least 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch of exposed wire. So they have a chart down at the bottom here, and you can just check to make sure that that lines up. And they have the major ones all in shaded, darker shaded here. You have a white wire, red, C would be your other red, green, and yellow. So in this case, we'll go ahead and put the red in first. And we'll just push that in like that. And then the white wire goes in like that. And you can tug on them a little bit just to make sure they're in there tight and they're not going to come out. See, this one I could actually cut it down a little more. If you need to push your wiring bundle back in a little bit, you can usually. Just push it in there. Give you a little extra room for these wires. And then the blue was the yellow. And then the G was the green. And then you want to make sure that, you know, if you have a little bit of corrosion, you just want to, you know, clean up your wires a little bit, just so they make a good connection in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and take that out and cut it, because it is crimped right there, and I'll go ahead and strip some more wire. So I'll go ahead and push that in, pull that wiring out, and then I'll cut it. Wire back in there. On it, make sure it's tight. And there we have it. Now the G, the green, is going to be for the fan relay. Your C is going to be your 24 volt AC common. Your R is going to be for your 24 volt AC power from your heating transformer. That's your red. And then, so your jumper wire is going to go from your R to your RC when you select one wire. So you don't have to worry about a wire going to the RC unless you have 2 red wires. Okay, and then your yellow is your compressor contactor. That's for a stage 1 compressor. And your S is going to be your input for your wired indoor or outdoor sensors. So there's 2 S's there. And your Y2 would be for a compressor contactor if you have a stage 2 compressor. U is going to be unused. That's convenient. And then LA/A is your heat pump fault input. Your O/B is your changeover valve. Your auxiliary is your auxiliary heat relay stage 2. Your E is your emergency heat relay. Your K is your connect to K on the wire saver module. Now, this wire saver module is used on heat and cooling systems when you have 4 wires at your thermostat and you need a 5th wire for a common wire. And so you can use the K terminal in place of the Y, the yellow, and the green terminals on conventional or heat pump systems. So that way you have control of your fan and the compressor through a single wire. And then, of course, like I said, your red is your 24 volt. from your heating transformer, and then your RC is your 24 volt from your cooling transformer. So once you have all your wires connected, go ahead and push your cover plate closed. And just make sure it's flush there. 4 wires or 5 wires is most common, so that's usually what you'll see. But if you have any of those extra wires, you just want to match them up per color. And then your instruction manual should tell you, if you need any further information on that. And then once you get all your wiring put back in there, and you got your mounting plate on, we can go ahead and put the main unit on, and you just want to line up the pins. You see how the pins will go into the holes here, and you just push it in and it should work. And you want to go ahead and put your batteries in. This is for your battery backup, and it could be for your display also, so you may have AA's or AAA's that you may need to put in there. And then after you get this on, you go ahead and turn your breakers back on, and then you should be done. And it's just a matter of programming it. I'm not going to show you how to program it because there are so many different variations of programming out there. So I hope this has been helpful. This has been Mike from Mike's Do It Yourself. Good luck on your next home or automotive project. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.